Welcome back to Lifestyle. You know, we always like to take something that's old and make it look new, or something that's new and give it that old finish. Well, you know my next guest because she painted our set almost 2 years ago. I can't believe that it's been that long. But she's our resident faux finisher. That would be Jennifer Walls.
Hi.
Hey, glad to have you back. Always, always. You do such fabulous work, and the thing is, you go to all of my clients' homes and you make their house look fabulous, and then they love you. And just tell, for everybody that hasn't seen some of your work, tell them what you do.
Well, we have a full service painting company, and we do all the decorative finishes that are around. We do multi-layered, we do single things. There's no job that is too big or too small. And we do a lot of cabinets and glazes on cabinets and things like that. So.
Yeah, and we're going to show some samples of some before and afters of some of the things you've done, and we're going to do a demonstration. So if you are one of those people that shy away from wall covering, well, this is a great way to do it, right? Without being committed.
It's just paint.
It's just paint. That's what Jennifer says. You can always just paint right over it, right? Well, you won't want to paint over what Jennifer does. Take a look at some of the before and after. Now, this is a before. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is an entryway, and it's just, you know, kind of boring. It needs a little bit of pizzazz, and so I did a 3-layer textured finish on it, and
I like that you
added
also,
some color.
Now this is what you would call an accent wall. So you've added an accent wall when you walk in the door. And I like that you also painted, you know, some of those unsightly things on the wall, you know, the return vents, or the, you know, these are probably the doorbell or some sort of, I like that you've painted that as well.
Yes.
And this finish, what do you call this?
This is luster stone, and there again it was 3 layers. It's this, you can see it a little bit differently close up on this angle. That's why we showed that. You can see a little bit more of the texture. But whenever you're feeling it with your hand, it's completely smooth. So if you were to get tired of this, you would just sand it down and go over it with regular paint. So. Okay,
now this is a before picture of one of my clients' ceilings. Now, she did have a chandelier here. It's a basic, you know, tray ceiling, nothing fancy, but what you did is called a Modelo. Tell us about that.
That's correct. And this picture right here, it actually has a textured finish on it of luster stone, so it has a little bit of shimmer to it, but because it's tone on tone, you don't see it in the picture itself. You can see it a little bit more here, a little bit better.
So this is called, tell us what this technique is and how you created this.
This is a Modelo, and we can order those in any size, any shape, any design. And basically it's a stencil that actually sticks. So it sticks on the wall, the ceiling, the floor, and it allows us to do multi-layered finishes on it.
And you really like hanging upside down doing that, don't you?
Sure.
You know what? I love a girl who can take her own scaffolding, and you can, you know, my clients were impressed. They were like, she can take that thing down so fast, it's just unbelievable. Well, now that's some of your work that you do. So people can hire you to do that. But one of the things we're going to talk about today is what you're calling a wallpaper that's really, it's just a stenciling. Now we've got a few examples of that too that we're going to show first. Now these are not wallpapers.
No, and each one of these has the same texture background. And I have that sample with me here today. You have the same texture background, it's just the different stencil on top. So it creates a whole different look depending on what you choose as far as your design and your stencil and the colors used in the stencil.
And this is really dramatic, but gives you completely different styles. Now the one on the left looks raised. How did you achieve that look?
That is the shadowing that we're going to show an example of today, and that's how you make it look like that.
Okay. So that's 2 more examples. I think we might have, oh, and this is a stripe.
This is the chevron pattern. You can't really see the chevron in the picture there, but it is a chevron pattern. We used the chevron frog tape and created the lines, and we just brought the room was pink, and we brought the green down and added that for a little girl's room for an accent wall.
Oh, that is so cute. Now I love this.
And that's a more dramatic chevron pattern.
I like that. And you did this with tape. Oh my goodness.
With tape, with the frog tape.
Now what is frog tape?
Frog tape is like you have your blue tape, your green tape, your yellow tape. You have different kinds of tape. Whenever you go to the paint store, you'll see masking tape or blue tape. You'll see different colors whenever you're looking
now,
at the tapes.
Now, what does the frog paint do, though? Because now I didn't even know this.
The frog
I'm
tape. I'm
learning something right now on air.
The frog tape it seals your lines very well. And then they come in designs also. So it has a chevron pattern, it has a wave pattern, it has some different patterns.
Okay,
like
so then you're not going to have to worry about, because I know that if you put the tape down and then it bleeds underneath, you don't have to worry about that with the frog tape.
The frog tape is very good at that.
Because they're like little frogs, right? They stick to the wall really good. Well, let's talk about the stenciling. You said that this is like wallpaper. Let's show a few examples of what we're going to do.
So this is the stencil that we were going to do, the Moroccan stencil.
I like that. Yeah, it gives you a great look. So basically what you've done is you've ordered a stencil. Now you said that you could order stencils in all sizes. So this is a small pattern, but you could order it in a very large, like that Modelo. Let's show the actual stencil first.
This is the stencil.
Okay. So we've got this stencil, and it's made of a really heavy plastic. This is a Mylar, and it's already cut out, so you don't have to do anything with that. Now we've got a board that you've painted in this really pretty kind of turquoisey color. What color is that? That's so pretty.
It's a custom color, so I don't have a name for it.
And did you write down the formula?
I have it mixed.
She always shows me these beautiful colors, and then I'll say, well, what is it? And she's like, oh, I didn't write down that formula. But she's doing that more these days, right? Okay, now, would you suggest, though, to tape this on? Now, what are you using there? Tell me about this brush.
Whenever you have your stencil, a lot of times on the walls, you will want to spray an adhesive on the back, and it's a 3M adhesive for stencils. You can find that at any craft store.
Okay.
And so you will spray that on there, and that helps it to stick just a little bit.
Oh, so you don't have to tape it on?
You don't have to tape it on. You can, but this is the size that you would use like for a piece of furniture. Right. So this is a very small stencil size that we would normally do. So anyway, you just want to line it up to where you want it to be. And then this product that I'm using over here is, this is Stain and Seal. And the reason why I'm using it is because it dries very fast so that we can move over and we can position our stencil.
This brush, that's a gigantic brush.
That
that's like, this is a serious one.
That's a wonderful stencil brush.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
And this is to do large patterns and stuff. And if you email me, then I can tell you where to buy this online. So, because they have these readily available online.
I think we put your phone number. Is that okay if people contact you?
Either my phone number or by email, yes.
Okay, great. Now, so you've taken it and you've kind of stippled it a little bit?
I put the product on there, and then I've gotten it off. I've offloaded it so that it's not dripping
and goopy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So this, and the reason why I use this product is because it is a little thicker, so it's going to give us this look.
It's not going to get runny.
But if you're using a regular paint, you just want to use it a little bit dry.
Okay.
Kind of offload it a little bit on some tissue or a paper plate or something like that, so that you don't have a lot of seepage coming through.
Okay.
So then you just go and you stencil, you pound.
Yeah. Now this is the pounding. And now, what is the reason that you actually pound it on rather than paint it on? Because most people think, oh, you would just paint, but instead you
it's the seepage. It's the seeping
because
of
it would then go underneath and just wouldn't work. Okay, so you've covered
we got that on there.
Pretty good. Oh, look at that. Let's tip this forward so you can see. Immediately, I mean, instant gratification right there. So if you've got company coming for the holidays, boy, you could do this really quick.
And so whenever you want to continue on, you just line your stencil back up to where, you know, where you were at.
Okay.
Okay, and then you would just carry on.
A lot of beading. There's a lot of beading going on. Well, look at this one. This is the exact same thing. Now, what's the difference in this?
This has a metallic background, and then I did the same white as we're using there, so we're getting a little bit of the metallic in the background, and then we're getting a more solid kind of finish in the front.
Yeah, I like this.
It makes it not so overbearing in the room, but it blends in and it looks like wallpaper.
I like that. Now, you've got another one. While you're getting set up, I'm going to show a few of the samples that we have of some more of her. This is just gorgeous right here. Look at this with the squares. I wanted you to see this. This is in the squares. Gives you more of a contemporary look, but it also has the metallic in the background. And I've got another one here that I want to show you. Gosh, this is really pretty too. This has a little bit of glitter. I like that. Do you see the glitter in the background? And it's sort of that kind of an Irish knot. So it's got a lot of detail to that as well. Okay, now you've got dots here. Let's show the before. So you've already stenciled one. Okay, let's
so
show
this is the before.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay,
this is just the paint with the white on top of it.
Which is exactly what we just did, but now you're getting ready to do something that gives it that dimension. And let's show them the stencil.
This is the stencil.
Now this is a large pattern.
This is a larger pattern, and this one's been used, of course, because you have all your different colors on it.
Yeah, you've used that in a few houses there. I like that. But that's the good thing about a stencil, too, is that you can reuse it several times, right?
Right.
Okay, so now what you would want to do is line it up. Once you put on the white, now you're going to line it up, and you said, how are you going to then take it from there?
Well, we have to find where it was.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Thought I had
see.
it. So because we're doing the shadowing
Okay.
effect, so that's where we have to have it completely 100% lined up to where we were.
Okay, so
And-
to get the shadow effect, you would take it, you would put it back over the top of where you had the white,
Right, and I'm not finding it right now
Okay.
this quickly, so.
and then what you would do is
There we go.
Oh, okay. So you would line it up exactly where it was, and then you would offset it just a little bit.
So
would
you
move
just
it
take it and you shift it just a
shift.
tad.
Okay.
Just a tad.
All right. I'm going to hold that for you.
Okay.
And so what are you doing now? Oh, now you're taking black.
I'm going to take black, but so that we can see this.
Oh, that's nerve-wracking.
And then there again, I got a lot
It's
of product
like,
on there.
you just finished the whole wall, and now you're going to put some black on it. Oh, let's hope. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. Well, we don't have to. Jennifer would be great, but I think that I would test this on a poster board if you are, if you're just a novice at home trying to do this. Make sure you test it. I mean, we wouldn't want your big wall to not turn out. But of course, with Jennifer, you hire her, and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so this is what happens. Is you get what's called a shadowing effect. Now look at this area right here that we just did. Isn't that fantastic? It really gives it a dimension, like it's just popping right off of the wall.
And it can add that extra color that you want. So if you didn't want to use black, you could use the yellow, or you could use pink, or you could use a metallic, or anything, any kind of different color, so that it would just stand out.
I love that. Now we've got a few more samples. Now you've got a sample over there. What do you have over there?
This.
Yeah, what is that sample?
This is the one we just did.
Oh, that's the one we just did. Okay, we've got a few more samples that you wanted to show, and let's look at that. Now this is another stand. Yeah, let's hold that one up right here. I like that. Now what have you done in the background of this one?
This was just a wash with some metallic paints from side to side, and just very simple backgrounds, and then we're creating the stencil over it, so it's making the patterns.
Now, what is so shiny about this is, let's look at the bottom. What you've done is you put this sheen on the wall on the bottom. And what do
So
you
this
call
would be
that?
the first layer. This would be the
This is called luster stone? Okay. And then the layer on the top, then, you would take your stencil and go over the top of that.
correct.
Okay. Now, we've got another example here. If you did the silver, this is the shadowing, isn't it?
Yes.
So you've gone over this with the white.
And then with the dark, this was the dark is first, and then the white is second. And this is the pattern behind it, and it's the same as the pictures that we showed earlier. And this is without the stencil, and then of course at the bottom is with the stencil.
I like that. Oh, I want you to show this because texture is all the rage. And look at this texture. It almost looks like you have bark, that you've put bark on this wall. I like the copper in the background. Tell me a little bit about this one.
Well, this is just a copper paint in the background where it has the metallic foil, and then then we do the texture over it, and I glazed over the whole entire thing so that it, got to the deepness of color that we wanted.
Now, this actually has a little
It has
texture.
flakes. It has a lot of texture.
Yeah, so that's actually got a little flake to it. So just say, for example, nobody would ever want to take this off their wall, but if you did later, would you just sand this down in the paint?
You would be able to sand it. Everything. Most of the products that we're going to put on the wall do not have concrete in them. They do just have a texture product in them. So yes, they most of the time they're going to be able to.
Well, that is fantastic. And if you like this idea, you can try it at home. But if you feel like you don't want to do this, you can call Jennifer Walls, and we'll be putting her contact information on as well. Hey, I've got a question for you. Now with the little cold front that moved in, are you feeling a little bit drafty in your home? Guess what? I'm not. I'm toasty warm because I called Foam Works and had them spray the foam. It's 590-7856, and tell Josh over there I said hello. Well, coming up, we have our party favors. We'll be handing those out right after the break.